We are here now at the first waterfall as you come from the car park. I don't know, I've never went down further to know if there are other waterfalls. There might be. Not going to go now because it's getting dark. We just want to quickly finish this Genesis, this chapter here. So Genesis chapter 43, the conclusion. What happened in this chapter? So they're living in Canaan. The famine continues. They were most likely rationing themselves because they know they had to go back. They had to take Benjamin with. They knew very well that Jacob doesn't want that to happen. So they tried, so as long as possible, to stretch out the food as far as possible. So I'm pretty sure they might have started off like this, and by now they're like this, losing a lot of weight, all of them. And now, even after all of the rationing, nothing left. They need to go home. They need, to go to Egypt. They need to go back. And Jacob comes and he's kind of still downplays it, a little bit of food. No, there's not a little bit of food that they need to go and buy. They need to go and buy a lot. And Judah, not Reuben, saying, Benjamin needs to go. We can't go if he doesn't go. And Jacob, why did you tell him? And Judah explains, but he asked all these questions. Well, part of the truth. He did ask, but didn't mention all the pressure they were under. And then Jacob said, okay, Israel, now take our delicacies, take the money and what you brought back last time, just in case you sold him as a slave, and take Benjamin. If I am to be bereaved, no choice. They all died, Benjamin as well. No choice. And so they left. They got to Egypt. Joseph saw them, told the servant to prepare a feast for them. They then thought, oh, now he's going to kill us or make us slaves and take our donkeys. Yeah, right. It's like when you grasp for the little, it's kind of stupid, so what the hell will you do with the donkeys if you're enslaved? It's not as if he's going to send them back to your father. It's not as if he's going, but this is how we work. This is psychology at work. This is how we think. It's like we think of the most absurd kind of things because we're not thinking straight anymore. Anyhow, the steward said, don't worry. We know this is God's doing, your God's doing. Ultimately, which is true, it is their God's doing, but it's God's doing, and there's only one God. And then Simeon came back, and then Joseph appeared, asked him, Father still alive? The servant, he said, yes, our servant is still alive. Is this the youngest you told us about? Yes. Joseph couldn't keep it in. He had to leave, cried, washed his face, came back. They had a feast, and then the historical moment mentioned that the Egyptians didn't eat with them. So they all ate separately, the Egyptians, Joseph, the brothers. And they were having fun and they were merry. Okay, this is not the end of the story ultimately, because there's still a lingering question because they saw that they were put in the age, right, according to their ages, they were put right there, and they didn't understand why, but they left that question for now, and Moses leaves that question for now, and now they're having fun, now they're enjoying it. Okay, they're so out of this chapter. What can we take? What can we take for ourselves? This is not the end. I think I'm still going to speak a lot about Joseph as this example, or this pointing forward to the antitype of Christ. I'm still going to speak about that later on when we're all through all these chapters. I want to speak about what you can learn now here in this chapter. Again, the emotions involved, like the previous chapter, a lot of emotions. I mean, like, kind of strange. Sometimes people think of the Old Testament as this dry book with nothing really going on, just God killing everyone. But there's so many emotions, so many real human emotions. Israel didn't want his son to go. Bereaved, he didn't want to. Joseph crying when he sees his brother. Never expecting to see his brother ever, most likely. When he was sold, as we saw in the previous chapter, and he begged for mercy. I don't think Joseph ever thought he will see. When the birth of his son, he said that God helped him to forget. He forgot. He didn't think. But God had other plans. God saved the nation. God saved him. God brought Benjamin back, brought them all together again. God fulfilled as well, not only a partial fulfillment, but a full fulfillment of the dream he had. God keeps his promises. God keeps his promises. When God promises us something, he keeps it. The whole Bible shows us clearly over and over, and in this chapter again we see it. Here is a fulfillment of a dream Joseph had more than 20 years before. God didn't forget, they forgot, everyone forgot about this, but God did not forget about this. God knew, and it was all working out according to plan. Although a lot of sin, their sin, was God guilty of him being sold? No, he wasn't. They wanted to, but God used it for the good, as we are still going to see in other chapters. Joseph explaining that to them. God gave him a dream. He gave to the baker and the cupbearer dreams. It came true in 3 days. He gave dreams to Pharaoh. It came true in 14 years. God gave a dream to Joseph. It took 20 odd years for it to come true. It came true. God keeps his promises. And more than that, as God planned, it works out, notwithstanding the fact that a lot of sin involved. God didn't sin. God didn't make them to sin. God didn't force Judah to go and hand Jesus over to the Pharisees and Sadducees, to the leaders. God did not force him. He wanted to do it. God allowed for him to do what he wanted to do. God allowed for them to do what they wanted to do. And God used that. God wasn't going to let their free will stop his plan from happening, but God allowed for that free will in this plan to work out for the good. Only God can do that. Just remember, if God doesn't want your free will to stop his plan, your free will is not going to trump God's will. Ever. Ever. So this was ordained by God. This was ultimately their sins played out, and God used it. Okay? So, I mentioned it before as well, about Jesus will come back. This whole idea of the already and not yet, I know that's a very reformed concept, that the kingdom is already here. Okay, we see the beauty of God's creation, we see churches, we see people worshiping God all over this planet. So we see that God's kingdom is here. We know Jesus is on the throne. It's not a dispensationalist kind of idea of the kingdom will only come when Jesus comes back. No, it's already here. They're already. But at the same time, there's still war. There's still death. There's still famine. There's still earthquakes. All the things still with us. Jesus on the throne now, but all the things still happening. Because he hasn't come back yet. But he will come back. He promised. So the already but not yet part will become fully true when he does come back. Okay? For the baker and the cupbearer, it was 3 days. Pharaoh 7. Joseph more than 20. Longer period of times. But it became true. It came true. For the Jews, for Abraham, remember God said 400 years. They are on their way to the promised land. 400 years are over. God kept his promise. For us as Christians now, for the world, It's more than 2,000 years since the birth of Jesus. He hasn't come back yet. 2,000 years is a long time for us. For God is nothing. 2 seconds, not even. Right? So, yes, hold true to the fact that God keeps His word. Doesn't matter your circumstances, God knows what He's doing. He will not let you go ever. And more importantly, Jesus said He'll come back. He will come back. Are you ready for when He comes back? It can happen any second. All these signs of the time, they're all fulfilled. It can happen any second. Are you ready for when God fulfills that? Like He fulfilled everything here? Or are you going to be caught out? Today is a time of repentance. Tomorrow might be too late.